Welcome back again to Revs IT. Now the channel is based around the technology going into new motorbikes these days, and it does have a bit of blogging and upgrading and stuff like that, but the main focus I want the channel to be on is the technology. And today we're going to have a look at the technology going into the TFT screen of the Ninja 1000 SX here. And as we go along, we'll look at other manufacturers and not just the screen, but the other technology that's going into it as well, all the other electronics that go in to make up a modern bike. But I thought we'd start off, as I've got it here, with the Ninja 1000 SX's TFT and go through some of the controls and modes on it. First of all then, as you can see, the screen's in daylight mode at the moment. It's nice and bright and white. You can change that if you want to by pressing the reset button, and it goes into night mode. I'm fairly sure that as the light outside dims down, the sun goes down and night comes on, it automatically goes into the night mode as well. It dims the screen down so it's not so bright. But for daylight riding, nice and bright and white. I've got to say, it's really clear, really easy to read. As you can see, it's got the gear position, the power mode, which we'll come to in a moment, and speed, trip, fuel, all that type of thing. The normal things you get. So that's night mode and day mode. Now the next thing we have is the power mode buttons. It's set at the moment for rain, as it is always raining here in Wales, as I keep saying. But to change that is quite straightforward. You just press and hold, and it goes up into road mode. Press and hold again, it goes into sport, and then press and hold once more and nothing happens. So you can go back down through the modes, road, rain, and then one more time downwards and you get to rider mode, which is the custom mode. You can set that yourself, and again we go through that a little bit later, setting up a custom mode on the bike. So if we put it back into rain mode by pressing up and holding long enough, there we go. Now to get into the settings themselves, you press and hold the select mode, and we're in the settings. Now we have vehicle settings, display, date and clock, service, Bluetooth and units. Most of them speak for themselves, so let's go into the settings mode, the vehicle settings mode for the start. So we got your shift lamp on and off, so that's on the screen when you reach the shift limit. On this it's set to 6250 at the moment because it's still hasn't had its first service yet. When that light comes on, you shift the gears, straightforward. I know a lot of this I'm saying is probably just second nature to most of you, but to new riders and riders returning after a long time as well, this technology is completely alien to them. They used to just having a speedometer and a rev counter, if that, and this is quite new to them. So hopefully this will help some of you out there. So as I said, the shift lamp comes on, you shift gear straight away. You can adjust the shift speed if you want by going down, pressing select, and then you can change the shift speed to what you want it. At the moment, leaving it as it is because it hasn't had its service. To go back then, you press the reset back button here, and it takes you back to where you were. Next, we have KQS, which is the Kawasaki quick shift system. So you can turn the quick shifter on and off if you want to use the clutch manually. Supposing you're in slow traffic in city or town all the time, it may not be something that you need to have on, but you can switch it on and off, and again you program it just by setting it. It's now off. Select it again, choose on, select, and it's now on. Immobilizer lamp, on off. Why you'd want that, I don't know. I would prefer to have it on really, but for some reason you may want to turn it off. I'm not sure what that reason may be. Rider mode. Now you can turn the rider modes on and off. It's on at the moment and off. So now you haven't got that custom setting, the rider mode setting. And to switch it back on again, select. Very straightforward. simple stuff really. But some things, you know, it can trip people up, and if they're not sure what they're doing or if they're not used to technology, it could be something that confuses them. Next then we have the display. Now you have different modes for the display. You have like a general mode for riding round, and you have a sporting mode. So you have type 1, which is the general mode, and then you have type 2, which is the sporty mode. So if I go all the way out now, you'll see that the display has changed. You've got more information on the screen, such as the lean angle, which is there, and the G meter to see how much you're accelerating or decelerating. That's basically the extra bits you get, and I'll come to how you change that in a moment as well. But let's go back into the settings once more. We'll go back down to display and set it back to where it was. So mode, type 1, and then of course you've got your brightness. You can adjust that for, perhaps it's a very overcast day and you don't need it quite so bright. Date and clock. Oh, I've gone back now, I should have gone forward. Let's try that again. We go down to date and clock. So you got your days, months, years. In America, of course, it's months, days, year. They always do things a little bit differently. So the date today is the 19th. Format 24-hour clock, and the clock is set there. You can change the time if you need to. It does actually set the time automatically when you connect the app. So go back out of that. Service interval tells you when your service is next due. So it'll tell you, once it's programmed, what time the service is and who's done it, and at what location. So the oil change, the indicator is on, and we go down. In 7,000 miles it's due for an oil change, or the 15th of the 2nd. And again we've got the rider settings on, and I don't know why we've got that there for the second time actually. So it's the same setting, but we've got the rider settings in 2 different places. Something I need to look up then. So perhaps the rider setting needs to be reset for some reason. Bluetooth, I'll come back to that in a second. And units, you can change it, of course, mile per hour, kilometers, miles per gallon, liters, and temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So very straightforward stuff. Let's go back then one step to the Bluetooth. Now when you're pairing your Bluetooth phone or whatever you're using with the bike, it does have various things that it can do, notifying you of calls incoming and texts incoming and things like that. I've left all that by the by at the moment, but you don't actually pair the phone from your Bluetooth settings in the phone. You pair the phone from your app. So you have to install the app, Rideology it's called, then open the app and then go through the instructions there to pair the phone to the bike. Don't just pair the Bluetooth to the bike. It doesn't work properly if you do it that way. So always go through the app, and I'll show you the app a little later now. Pairing is open, you can turn it off. So if Bluetooth is on, pairing open, so if you don't want anybody else to pair to your bike, it's now limited. So unless your phone is already paired, it won't actually show up on anybody's search. So we go back, that's just information about Bluetooth and the legal stuff. I'm not even bothered going into that. Let's come back out. So next then we're going to look at the app and see how you actually pair the phone to the bike and the various options you've got in the app. But that will be in the next video. So please subscribe, like or dislike, and I'll see you in the next video. So ride on and ride safe.